Hey guys, Hot Rod 08 here, and welcome back to my Challenger VOD review series. Today we are going to be looking at Minit playing Leona versus DRX1 playing Thresh. 80 carries in this matchup, since we are in the bot lane, include, looks like, Callista for our Leona side, and then Aphelios on the other side for Thresh. Quick notes to make here. Both the supports do have Ignite, and they both do have Aftershock. Interestingly, Aphelios did feel like he needed to have the Cleanse, though, for all of the CC that can come out from the Leona, so we'll be watching him to see exactly what Cleanse plays he's able to pull off on this game. Other lanes include Lissandra for mid versus LeBlanc, which is going to be an interesting one. LeBlanc has that high burst damage, but Lissandra's going to be better in the team fights. It's going to be Rek'Sai versus Set. Rek'Sai should have a little bit better early game than Set does. I would feel as if Set will scale a little bit better than the Rek'Sai does. And then finally it'll be Kennen versus Wukong in the top lane, and that I have a feeling it's going to be an annoying matchup for a few levels for the Wukong, and it's going to be overall a skill matchup as to who's actually going to be able to pull ahead in that top lane and be more aggressive. Let's move down to the bot lane, though. It looks like both of them were at the lane at the very beginning, with Leona just going to have that pressure in the bush. You can see that he tried to initiate onto the enemies, but Thresh had the flail in order to push her back in it, so that's going to just leave both supports with a little bit of damage. Our 80 carries on the Leona side did take more than the Aphelios, though, so overall I would say Leona lost the trade there. I'm assuming she didn't expect Thresh to have the flail, so they're probably going to play it chill just a little bit until they find a better position to initiate on. It looks like they're wanting to be aggressive. So, yeah, this is not going to work out very well on both sides. So, if we can move back here before they initiate. They don't really have any vision anywhere on their side of the map, either within the lane or the tri-bush, and with that, it ends up being that when they do this initiation, they're expecting the jungler, I guess, not to be there. I'm not 100% sure why they're being so aggressive, though, on this, especially when the lane is so pushed in. We're not going to watch this entire thing over again, but I don't think that was going to work for them very well. Either trying to all-in this one. They, I think, should have probably tried to get out of this all-in at that point, or had better wave management in order to not even be in that position in the first place. But with that, we have both of our laners going to be going back to lane. It's going to be an interesting one to watch, at least, just because Callista and Leona are now going to be pretty far behind in their lane. Leona's wasting no time to try to ward or anything, probably just because she's level 2 and really needs to get that experience. Okay, so she got the cannon. And the Hextech Flash for the lols. I'm trying to think if there's any like legit reason you could do that or not. I can't really think of any reason you'd use the Hextech Flash there, rather than maybe the small chance the enemies being right there when you flash over. I guess it doesn't really hurt considering Hex Flash is back up. Let's see. So the enemies are going to be coming back into this lane pretty strong. this one, so just didn't expect the rush up there whenever this wants to load back for us. Yeah, she's just standing far up. She thinks she's going to have that pressure in that bush. Didn't know that set was in that bush either, so that's pretty unfortunate. The blue side of the map are definitely taking advantage of trying to get this Helios ahead, and being 2-0-1 at this point is going to be rather rough for our Leona and Kalista players. So I'm really interested in how this Leona is going to decide to get out of such a brutal beginning to the game. Our team is still ahead. It looks like 600 gold compared with the other lanes going, which they have a 13 CS lead in the front, in the top lane, which makes sense. You see, when that fight happened, Leona tried to get the stun under the tower, wasn't successfully able to get the auto attack up. Might have been a little smarter for him to stick with the AD carries target that they were fighting. They ended up splitting up with Kalista moving to the top, and Leona ended up going down, so they ended up splitting who their targets were. They might have had a better chance there if they actually stuck together in that fight. Leona is going back, I'm assuming. I'm assuming she had enough money to get at least some type of item going back, otherwise I don't see any other reason. It looks like, if you look at the very bottom of the screen, though, you got Lysandra, Rek'Sai, and Kalista was there too. Kalista ended up, falling again. So this is really the top three lanes of Ken and Rek'Sai. Lysandra doing really well with bombs falling apart. They need to focus one target. They just get rid of the Thresh because he's super low. Lysandra's trying to, Leona's trying to peel back. That doesn't end up working for her. This is yet another most likely runaway thing. Just lose 1-for-1, not the absolute worst trade. Looks like Leona's at least going to try to make her way back. She get the boots of mobility and a refillable potion, it would look like, so a little bit more sustain with that refillable, and then clearly your initiation supports like Leona need that boots of mobility in order to get around the map to ward and to start those fights. So they're not wasting any time here. They're going to push this lane. I'm expecting Leona at least get some type of warding out. Yeah. I was expecting a trinket over here, potentially. Doesn't look like she has one to use, though, so they're just gonna pink ward that bush. That'll give them at least that close-up vision, so they're not just getting ganked on with at least some type of warding. Considering they're 0-3 and 1-3, what I'd really like to see out of this bot lane is for them to just chill for a couple and try to get this AD carry to like scale up at least in the mid game some, because Aphelios is definitely going to be a better AD carry later in the game than Kalista, and like at least in the mid game there might still be a chance of Kalista being able to do more, but they are just being so aggressive at this point that I just feel like the win condition of this red team is to let your 2-0-2 entire, top, middle, and jungler carry your game for you. They're doing wonderful. And the enemy, the blue side's win condition at this point is the Aphelios with the 3-1 and the Thresh behind him working. I says 2-2, he's not doing the absolute worst. But your Helios on the blue side is looking to be your main carry in this game, whereas you're wanting that Kennen and Sandra to be the carry. On the red side. We're trying to peel away here. Can't exactly see how that fight truly started out. That one, yet again, I think fell apart on our side. I want to go back just a tiny bit to see the beginning, how that went. So, trying to see. So it looks like overall our Rek'Sai ended up getting caught trying to go in. He ended up ulting on that bot side and then tried to flash over that wall and ended up getting hooked by the Thresh. And that was basically the end of that. They just went too deep on that bot side. Now we've got the Helios even more fed. He is going to become an absolute monster. The enemy side really should be focusing, trying to get ahead, maybe Kennen on the top side against that Wukong, or the Lissandra against LeBlanc, something like that. I don't feel like the constant pressure on the bot side is the correct choice here. I am interested in this Leona's pathing, though. It looks like she doesn't want to give away this Rift Herald. So she is going to ward up all of this side of the map. Let's see if they're going to actually attempt to start it. It'll be interesting if they do. Okay, they're just going to try to get a cheeky kill here. And then they'll turn and get that objective on the Rift Herald. So they got their pick. I'm assuming that after he gets the Gromp here, that they're going to try to make some play on the Rift. Yeah, I think he's going to be doing that right now. So that pick was pretty good. Leona's still level 5, though, which is kind of limiting her ability to be the full tank for the team. But she got to the point thinking that this bot lane is kind of over with, and her ability to put pressure on the map is going to be in other lanes, so that's why instead of just immediately rushing back to her lane, she instead took that indirect route and tried to set up some type of Rift Herald play, which is going to be the way to snowball back in this game. So if you are a support main, the lane's falling apart like this, you are allowed to go to different lanes and try to get those lanes ahead, because you already know this bot lane is absolutely cooked at this point. It's going to be very hard for them to get anything back in this lane. Yeah, they don't even have ults, so there's no way they can really step up if any of them get hooked by the Thresh, or if they use a minion as a way back. They're just going to completely die. I think they might actually lose, yeah, with Sal on this bot side. Right here. Pretty unsafe for them to even stay at this tower. They decide that Set decides that he's not going to stay around. There is still lost CC with that Leona, and they knew that she was going to get level 6 soon, which guarantees that she has the ult up in the first place. So Set decided not to really stay around in order to try to do this dive at least that very second, and they haven't used the Callisto ult yet either, so it's just CC on top of CC. Tower dives are usually pretty good, but the more CC an enemy has, the harder those dives are going to be to do, and between Callisto and Leona, I don't really know how much more CC you're going to be able to get once they're both at level 6, so even at this point, with them being so behind, it's still rather risky for them to even try to dive that. Callista, I'm not exactly sure what she's doing, why she decided to go back. Thresh caught her out, so she's not going back anymore. Leona, on the other hand, is just trying to get something else on the other side of the map. She knows that her bot tower is just absolutely cucked. That's going to go away whether she was there or not. So she's just trying to cause as much pressure as she possibly can on the other side of the map. She's being really aggressive with it, though, not even having like clear vision as to where anyone is. Maybe she's got a better idea of where enemies are than I do, but so they're going to use the Rift Herald in the mid, most likely get that one down at the very least. She was going towards bot side just in case they needed help, to make sure that the second tower wasn't going to fall down on us. But now she's gonna, I'm assuming, try to get some vision on the top side. Or, oh yeah, they haven't got the tower down yet, so she's just gonna be here in order to make sure that nothing is gonna go wrong here. And they got that tower, so they got the objective. They don't need to do anything else. She did. She's looking like she's going to go for that Zeke's Convergence first, which is a pretty good item. Gives you a good amount of takiness. That mana might help you too. So you're able to use your abilities for longer. And then Callista still is a good target for that mid-game. Zeke's is a really good mid-game item to get. So trying to make that Callista still useful when it comes to this mid-game. We'll see exactly how they're able to continue on this, though. Right now, it's basically just a ward fight at the moment. That was pretty good, though, from LeBlanc trying to go in that push. She just sidestepped the chain that she threw out. And that was a pretty good sidestep on her part to take that damage, because that could have made a big difference on the initiation there. See what our Leona's gonna do here. Is trying to peel for that Callista. Did a good job staying around. Callista decided to use that ult. Ooh, and Leona knew that one of them was trying to run away, so she tried to at least get the stop on her. But that was a 1-for-2 trade there for red team, so that was a good. Plus, we lost the Kennen in exchange for the Thresh and the Wukong. So that was a good initiation on us, even with Callista being so far behind. The CC chains on top of each other is no joke to be facing against it. Still can be deadly in the right hands, and especially with your now 5-1-2 Lissandra, who already is going to scale better than the LeBlanc being the one that's fed. She's going to be putting out some good damage. Bless me. So the next objective looks like is going to be that Baron. So if she can find the ability to ward around it, that's what I'm expecting her to do. Looks like Leona was more trying to be careful, though, just to make sure that they're going to be able to possibly get this reinforcement start arriving. So they're trying to be careful how much forward they go. That's done to make a big difference. With all the CCs, it looks like, yeah, it's going to be in our red team's favor. So Leona looks like that she had a bad laning phase. She's like, yeah, I get it. This laning phase isn't gonna go for me. So she, instead of just hanging around that bad laning phase, not influencing the rest of the map, she actually decided to basically drop the AD carry in that, and she's been trying to do the best she can in order to influence the map around the map and gain those roams, and so that's how you're gonna carry it that support who is behind lane phase, that CC. It doesn't matter what part you are in the game, that CC is still going to be valuable. You might have a little bit less CC if you're, have a level 1 ult instead of a level 2, but the majority of that ult is still there. You're still able to do the majority of things you normally would do with that CC. So it's her ability to get ahead the rest of the map with that Lissandra, the Ken, and the Rek'Sai, rather than trying to bring the Kalista up to par with everyone. Now she is going to help for this kill. She sees that this LeBlanc is trying to get away. She's rather difficult to pin down, though, so she's gonna most likely get away from that. So they're looking for a possible engage. Yeah, they have everyone meeting in the mid. Wukong spot, Leona, or LeBlanc, I'm sorry, was topside, so they're looking for some type of engage. They didn't feel as if they found a secure enough one, though, so they just held back on that. Side, so they're warding up for this dragon that's going to be coming up within the next 45 seconds or so. Not quite there, but they've got the vision towards the bot side. And each team's got one Drake so far, with red team having Cloud and blue team having Mountain. So they're going to try to get that lead of theirs 2-1. 2-1 for their team. Now, if you saw, Aphelios actually did get pretty good use of that cleanse there, but Leona was ballsy enough in order to continue moving forward with that, and she was actually able to get the damage off of that kill. Looks like our Rift Herald is being used in the bot lane. Rek'Sai herself is going to be able to get that dragon pretty easily, so Leona decided to start getting that vision up on the Baron side. Baron is up. I don't know why the minimap's saying it's not, but I know that Baron has not been taken by anyone yet. So that should be their next side of the map, with that Baron having to be up. I still don't understand why the minimap is not showing that. There's no way that the enemies ended up taking that one from them. So we'll see exactly what pathing our Leona is going to decide to do here. I think she's trying to be careful not to go too far. The enemies do have ways to jump on her, such as the LeBlanc damage can still be high. Wukong's set can initiate pretty hard on Leona if she's caught out. Point though, we can't talk about that. We're getting in another fight. Leona is trying to be some of the front lines for the team. So instead of healing, she's more going for a frontline approach here. See how she continues. It looks like the rest of the team isn't fighting at the moment, so she's just going to clear that vision, try to get this back in her side, so she can have control of this top side of the map. Yeah, and she's just Hextech flashing just in case something happens. So that's just precautionary. Yeah, you might as well get the use out those Hextech flashes just in case something happens. So that's why she's just fishing for opportunities, whether, the majority of the time that's not going to happen, but for the one time it actually does happen, she'll be there and ready to do something about it. So they've got a pretty good split comp too, with Kennen the bot side, Lysandra going top, and then they've got their core three of Rek'Sai, Leona, and Callisto, which are really good at keeping themselves alive in that, triple parry. That was a really good attempt by the Thresh to get some distance out, but he essentially ended up getting caught. He was out of position. I guess Leona's worried about any deep wards, those teleports that could come in. That's actually kind of smart of her to make sure that they can't get any teleport flanks or anything like that. I do like that. They didn't decide to pull the trigger on the buff, though. Or on the Baron. With them two, they do decide to go for this fight, though. Ends up being a 1-1. They had 3 people on their own side, it's 3 on the other, so it's not the absolute worst trade that they could have possibly done in that situation. I think it was still a little bit risky without the entire team there, and Callisto and Leona being the bomb 2 on their team. But they made it work. Looks like he's going to be going the other shielded item, Locket, so that will get some even more durability for her, as well as a shield for allies around. So she doesn't have that much health per se, but she does have a lot of stat tankiness, 177 armor, 127 MR so far. So between those 2 tank items, she's going to be doing pretty well. And she'll be able to take off a little bit of damage with that rocket with anyone around her, shield them up just a little bit. That Drake is going to be coming up soon, so they're not worried about the Baron just yet. Again, the enemies don't know if they are doing Baron or not. They're pinging on the little mini-map, but you saw that they had a question mark ping on Baron, so they don't have the Baron, the vision on it yet. So red team's trying to keep that vision away. See how Leona is doing that with her trinket. Looks like that they're going to get yet another free Drake. They're trying to rush this Baron themselves, but our team should get there in time. Yeah, they're going to run away. So that was a good decision by our team to not leave that Baron alone the entire time, and it looks like he is going to get caught out, and that Ophelia's getting caught out is going to be a major mistake that Ophelia's is going to make. That with their strongest member caught out, that is most likely a free Baron for them. It should be any fight that the enemies decide to come over here to is not going to work in their favor. Wukong's not even trying, he's still staying in the bot side. So that was an extremely good catch on Leona's part to be able to go out and catch him out. That was probably the best play she's done this game in order to influence the overall game state, was catching that, because she was the reason they got that Baron. So she did get the Locket, so she is going to be rather tanky girl going in these fights. Surprisingly, as you see on the other side of all of this, that Thresh first went with that gargoyle stone plate, and I'm surprised that Leona hasn't done the same. It is a really good item. Maybe she just wanted that extra damage with the Zeeks, and then afterwards might as well keep the stat changes up with the Locket next. I guess the Zeke's is a little bit more of aggressive a damage item, whereas the Gargoyle is going to be pure tankiness. So that was probably the reason why, and Thresh just wants that pure tankiness. to go up, and for the gold value you get out of it is really gold efficient. So Thresh is going to try to stay alive as long as she can, while the Leona's trying to get a little bit more damage done. Turn this fight around, but the Lissandra isn't there. It's going to be a hard one to win for us. They actually did pull it through, though. It was good on them. That it was starting to look pretty shaky from the game. That tankiness between those two items didn't make a big difference there, and the Lissandra not being there immediately is minorly scary, but they're able to push ahead just fine. Without her, Leona survived that tankiness. She's just trying to be in a place between the two, whether she's be in the bot lane or this top lane against or I guess with the Kalista. Pretty sure that she got all three inhibitors though, so that was, and this, all three of those inhibitors being down was because of that one play that Leona made in order to catch that Aphelios. That one mistake of Aphelios is why they're in such a bad game state now, and that will show you guys how one mistake, even if you're carrying from that Aphelios, can turn the game around, because some deaths don't really mean much. That was an extremely huge death for the Aphelios to give over, and now, okay, so they got 2 inhibitors, not 3, but still absolutely devastating to have that, and then all the outer towers gone too. That's going to be pretty rough for them to come back into this game. At this point, they're just going to try to get the Drake soul. That's the more than the safe way to go. There's no point of rushing this. That'll be a very easy Drake to get. They think they got a moment to catch them out, though. So instead of waiting, they are going through with this. A little bit risky, but they thought they had a good chance to catch them out. So that's why they move forward with this. And whoever made that decision, I think the Kennen was correct in that decision. That is going to be the end of the game. So it was a rough beginning, but you can kind of see exactly how the Leona was able to pull that one back, even with being so far behind. So that is going to be it for today's Challenger VOD review video. If you liked it, please give this video a like and comment anything below you'd want to talk about this game. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, I would love to see your subscription. Rather than that, thanks much for joining. I will see you in the next video. Thanks much.